Get ready with me while I talk about a doula, whether or not I think that you should get one, and why it was super useful for my VBAC. So I recently had my second baby, and because I was going for a VBAC, a doula was really highly recommended to me. But first of all, what even is a doula? A doula is pretty much like a support person throughout labor. So they are not a midwife. They don't do like cervical checks or anything like that, but they do support you mentally and physically, among a bunch of other things. They are super, super, super important and useful. I had a really wonderful experience with my doula. Now, I don't think that you should be putting like a cost or a price on anyone's work, time, energy, anything like that. Like, my doula was super, super handy. I'm so incredibly grateful that I had her. However, I think that they should be covered through insurance because I live in Ontario. A lot of things that I did throughout pregnancy, like chiropractor, massages, all of that stuff is covered through insurance. So why aren't doulas covered? Because there are so many people that don't have access to doulas, and I think that they're super important and that everyone should have access to them. Mine specifically costed $1,700, and I had to pick up extra work and extra collabs and everything. I worked my ass off to afford my doula. So I think that it is incredibly unfortunate that they are not covered by insurance. And the reason why it was recommended to me for my VBAC is because a lot of times moms that are going for a VBAC will experience situations, let's say, in the hospital where certain interventions will typically come up. Like, for example, if you don't want to be induced because maybe your induction is what led to your C-section and that's why you're going for a VBAC. A lot of times the doula will support you in that decision, because when you are in labor, you are a completely different person than you are when you're not in labor. So it's nice having someone who advocates for you if you're not able to advocate for yourself, especially if you're not giving birth at a super VBAC friendly hospital. Another thing that she helped me with was whenever I was having contractions. I think I mentioned in one of my other videos, my epidural didn't work on the first take. And so whenever I was having contractions, I was feeling them in my back and like upper thighs. And every contraction would put pressure on my back while Jude would run the TENS machine. And it was just really nice having that. I feel like she just really knew what to do. Part of it is because she's been a doula for so long, so she's like super educated. She's also very, very VBAC friendly, and she works with a lot of other patients that are also going for a VBAC or have had a VBAC. It was also really nice having her there to ask questions and to help with like labor positions and all of that stuff. When I was in early labor, I kept asking her, like texting her and asking her what I should be doing. Like, should I be active? Should I be doing this? She recommended the mile circuit. They also are trained in spinning babies. So a lot of times if your baby is like not descending, or if there's like complications throughout labor, they can help switch your positions. They help with all of that stuff. So they are super, super handy to have. And I am very pro doula. I loved having mine. I'm very grateful for her. Overall, I think that I had a really positive experience this time around having one. I really liked the extra support. I also think that she provided support in ways that Jude couldn't, because she's just so knowledgeable about birth. There were things that she just like knew what to do that I like didn't even have to tell her. If you're wanting to get a doula, I highly recommend kind of like shopping around, looking at their reviews, and also meeting with them. I met with 2 doulas, and I'm super grateful for the one that I got, because I feel like I just had a connection with her over the other one that I met with. Nothing against the other one that I met with, I just didn't feel that like vibe right off the bat, whereas the one that I had, I did feel the vibe. But yeah, I do recommend meeting with some. If you do not feel comfortable with someone right off the bat, I don't recommend hiring them as your doula, because obviously when you're in labor, especially if you're paying for that and like your insurance doesn't cover it, you're obviously not going to want someone who you don't feel comfortable with, because it's a very vulnerable situation.